Hey guys, welcome to Troy Time. Hey, check it out. Today we got an awesome video coming your way, okay? I'm going to talk to you about microgreens, right? I'm going to give you a walkthrough of exactly what I do, okay? It's going to be awesome. Stay tuned. Check it out. This is going to work for you really well. Okay guys, so I've made lots of videos about microgreens, okay? I have some in isolation where I've singled in on one particular microgreen. I've had others where I describe the microgreens that I like and the ones I don't like. I've had others where I've talked about the rack system that I use that I recommend to you, which is our 1 square foot hydroponic rack, which is awesome. So I've talked about some of the equipment and stuff. This I'm going to give you a complete overview and a complete walkthrough of exactly what I do and what you can do super simple. We're going to focus on keeping it simple. We're going to show you a method that just organizes everything and makes it real easy to do. Stay tuned, that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay guys, if you followed my videos in the past, then you know that we're going to focus in on 5 fundamental microgreens, okay? That's going to be lentils, that's going to be mung beans, that's going to be green peas, that's going to be broccoli, and that's going to be radishes, okay? We're going to do all 5 of those, and it's going to work out awesome. Now, when you're doing so many different microgreens with so many different grow times, it can get very confusing if you don't have a system. In the lifespan of microgreens, you have a portion of their life where they're in the blackout mode, and then you have a portion of their life when they're in the light. When they're in the blackout mode, you're watering them twice a day. When they're in the light, you're bottom watering, and they're basically set it and forget it. All right, so it's kind of 2 different stages. But there's a lot that can go on, and if every plant is in a different stage, it can get confusing. Wait, do I plant this one here today? Does this one come out of the dark today? This one comes out tomorrow? If everything's on its own schedule, things can get sort of discombobulated, and you'll start making mistakes. You'll think something is bottom watered when it's not, and it'll dry up and die. Or you'll forget to plant something at a certain day, and you'll be like, oh man, you'll be 3 days in, and you won't have a harvest coming because you forgot to plant that item. So with 5 different things on 5 different grow schedules, it really can get confusing. So I want to give you a simple method that just encompasses it all and makes it super simple. And so the magic of growing a lot of microgreens and keeping it simple is having a 10-day planting schedule. So by using a 10-day planting schedule, it's going to put everything in line, right? And what you're going to have is you're going to have basically a blackout period. And then as soon as you come out of your blackout period, you're going to harvest every other day. It's awesome. So there's going to be a blackout period, and then boom, you're harvesting your lentil sprouts. And then a day goes by and boom, you're harvesting your mung beans. And then a day goes by and boom, you're harvesting your radishes. And then a day goes by and you're harvesting your green peas and your broccoli. And then boom, you plant and it repeats itself all over again. So it keeps it simple. So everything is in the blackout period together, and then everything comes into the light, and then it gets harvested every other day. Makes it super simple, keeps everything in order, and it gives you less touch time. Because if you were doing it separately, you'd be watering stuff every day. But when everything moves into the light together, everything goes into the set it and forget it mode from there. And so you have much less touch time, keeps it easy, keeps it organized. It's perfect. You're going to see it in action coming up here. So yeah, it's about that 10-day system, guys. It's going to keep everything organized. We're going to use it in conjunction with our 1 square foot hydroponic rack. And it's going to work with our lettuces that are going on there, because we're going to be planting our lettuces also on a 10-day window. And it's just going to work out all in all, just comprehensively. It's really, really good. I highly recommend doing it and using these exact microgreens for reasons that we've talked about in other videos. All right, so check it out. Stay tuned. This is going to be good. You're going to get to see exactly what I do. All right, everything starts by measuring out our seeds and pre-soaking the night before we start, okay? These are our small seeds. Our small seeds we're going to put in our jars, and we're going to leave them dry and only pre-soak them in the morning, because they're going to get a 3-hour soak time. Okay, this is our broccoli, and the other one's going to be our radish. This is our broccoli right here, and for our broccoli, we just want to cover the bottom of the jar, actually even leaving a little gap. You'll see a little circle gap there. We're just kind of covering the outer edges, the outer rim of the glass, okay? And so we're going to use just that much. I'm always using mason jars for these because there's some linear delineation of measurements on the side. But for these, we're just dusting the bottom with a hole in the center. You'll see it from different angles, okay? It's one of our smaller seeds. These are our radishes. These are also a very small seed, right? We're going to wait, and we're actually going to start the pre-soak tomorrow morning on these. But these are going to go about 2 levels high. They're about twice as much as the broccoli. And you'll see another angle on it here. So you can see that they're a little bit deeper than the broccoli, and they are covering the entire bottom of a mason jar. And that's if you're using small plates, and we'll talk about that here in a minute as well. But these are our smaller seeds. So let's move into our bigger seeds. Our bigger seeds now we are going to water tonight. And that starts our lentils. Our lentils, we want maybe just a layer of like 1 or 2 high on the bottom of a mason jar. Okay, these are going to go in a small container. And that's another look at it. Just about 1, maybe a few of them on top, that's okay. But you're just covering the bottom of a mason jar. That's just the easiest way to think of it. All right, our next big seeds is our peas. All right, if you look on these jars, there's a little line. We'll show you, but it's the 100 milliliter line. And so if you see that line, we're just filling right up to that line. There's a better shot of it right there. That's our 100 milliliters, and that's what we fill those peas up to. Okay, and then it looks like that. You can kind of see the line on some of these pictures if you look. So peas are a bigger seed. We're going to fill it right to that line. All right, and then lastly, we're going to look at our mung beans. Okay, mung beans we're also going to fill right to that line. And on mung beans, that's going to fill a large tray for us because that's going to be one of our bigger portions that we eat is with the mung beans. So basically the peas and the mung beans fill right up to that 100 milliliter line, and that's going to work out real well for us. So here's a picture of it here. We'll just walk down the line with all these waiting. Okay, this is our peas. There are our mung beans, and there are our radishes. Those are lentils, and there's a great shot of that hole in the broccoli. Let me move so you can see it a little better against a contrast. Yep, just like that. That's perfect for the broccoli. Okay, and there we go. And those three seeds now we're gonna wet the larger seeds. So we're soaking our lentils, our peas, and our mung beans. Okay, we're soaking those the night before, 12 hours. Technically, they say to if you want to do it perfectly, you would soak your mung beans for 24 hours, but 12 is gonna work just fine for us. That way, it keeps all three of these in sync. If you have a problem with your mung beans not germinating, then soak them 24. But we're gonna soak all these 12 just to keep it consistent and make it simple. And with that said, let's take a look at some of these plates. So we use big plates and small plates. Here's a small plate on a big plate platform. Okay, and what you're going to see is that the small plate is about half the size. You'll see that here as I turn it. It's about half the size as the bigger plate. Okay, you can use other containers as well. You'll see some that we'll show here. They're actually sort of a quarter size of a full plate. That looks like this here. Okay, but that's the plate size. But that's the ratios that we use. You're going to adjust that depending upon whatever plate you're going to use. But this is what I do. So let's continue. Okay, so this is the next morning, and you're going to see that all these seeds are going to swell up, okay? So what I'll do is I'll get up in the morning, and when I first get up, I'll add water to the radishes and to the broccoli, and I'll let those sit for about 3 hours, okay? And then 3 hours later, I'll just empty everything onto the trays, which is what we're going to show here today. But these are the mung beans, okay? You can tell those swelled up a ton, right? They've got all that water in there that they're going to use to grow. And so here's another shot here of the peas, I believe. And yeah, and the peas swelled up as well. Not quite as much as the mung beans, though. So these are going to go on the trays. We're going to show you that. What you can do while they're in their jars is you're going to drain the jars, and then there's an optional step if you want to. You can actually do a light rinse with vinegar, but don't go over 2 minutes, okay? Use like a half cup of vinegar, and then refill the jar completely full with water. You can stir them around a little bit, but no more than 2 minutes, okay? No more than 2 minutes. You can do them with all the seeds. I'm just showing the mung beans and the lentils here, but you can do it with all the seeds. And that's going to help prevent any kind of mold or any kind of issue like that there. Shouldn't be an issue, right? No worries. Optional step if you want to do it. But what you do want to do is you want to go through and pick out any particulates that's not the seeds. Here we've got some broken pea seeds, I should say, that have split, and there's some pea shells and things like that. Clear out all that material. Get all the non-seed out of the trays. Okay, so that's just an idea. Sometimes you see little pebbles. Sometimes there's just broken seeds. Try to clear out as much as that as you can, just to prevent any problems when you're growing, because you don't want that stuff sitting there, degrading while the rest of the stuff is growing. All right, so it's time to lay these things out on some trays. So these are our pea seeds now, okay? And this is about perfect. That's the density that you want. One flat layer of pea seeds. And they're nice and wide, and that's going to give them some room to grow because they're a big seed. Okay, now this is actually a little too dense, though, when you're talking about mung beans and when you're talking about lentils. And I got in a hurry. I've got a lot of projects going, and I did this in a real hurry. You can tell that we soaked a few too many seeds because there's some seeds left in the jars, but also we put a little too many down. Rather than have one solid level, and you can tell I've got some seeds piggybacking here, so I don't have one solid level. You'd rather have it a little bit sparse. You want to see some white tray in between, just kind of evenly speckled in with the peas and with the lentils there. So this was too heavy, and I pay a price a little bit. It'll still be a fine harvest, but one of the mistakes here in these is that both of these I went just a little bit too dense with the seeds. I should have had a little less on each tray. Here's a better look. You can tell that those are piling up on each other, so you really don't want that. You really want one solid level with the lentils. And what you'll see here, same thing on the mung beans. These are just about one level, but they need a little bit more room to grow, because they're going to grow really tall, but they need a little bit more room. So that's too dense on the mung beans as well. right? But moving on here. So we just take them out. So those are our seeds on our plate. And we do want the bigger seeds, especially, we do want to weight down. So you want to weight down your peas, you want to weight down your mung beans, and you want to weight down your lentils. Here I've just stacked them up. That makes it real convenient. And then I put just a mason jar on top. You could use other things. You could make it more decorative and things like that. But usually just one jar on the smaller trays, that works just fine. Okay, the smaller seeds, like your broccoli and your radishes, those don't really need to be weighted down. They're going to find the water, their roots going to go straight down. The bigger seeds can push each other around a bit, okay? And here we see I've got the Pepsi bottle there on the mung beans. You could obviously use much more decorative things for weight. I got a little lazy here and I just grabbed the 2 liter. Generally, I'll do 4 water bottles going horizontally across. And that's a much more even weight. I kind of pay the price for being lazy here and using the 2 liter. But you could use something decorative as well, and you can cover it with a towel, things like that. Okay, guys, let's jump to the magic, okay? So you want to water twice a day for 3 to 4 days. This is 3 or 4 days here, okay? And what you're going to see, it's ready. It's harvest time for our lentils already. You want to harvest them when they get those tiny little, what are called cotyledon leaves. Those are the green leaves right there. And they should be green because you're keeping these in the dark. But this is day 3 or day 4 here, and you're going to have the whole root, the seed, and the stem to all eat. It's all edible. So to harvest, you just pluck it out, okay? And these are great. These are full of protein, and they're crunchy, and they're really good, okay? So to harvest now, you're just going to grab a hold of it, and you're just going to pluck it right out of here. We'll show you that coming up right here. But these look beautiful. I did overplant them. We could have had a little bit better harvest if I wouldn't have overplanted these. But it's fine. We're going to do great with these. We're just going to pull them right out, roots and everything. You eat all of this, okay? And tons of protein because you're actually taking the actual legume, the actual seed with you to eat as well. They're crunchy. They're good. They taste great. Okay, that's probably 2 servings right there and in front. And then that's all of them that we have there on the plate. And these are awesome. This is day 3 or day 4. It's going to depend on your humidity, your temperature, and things like that. But yeah, and these are ready to go. We're already in harvest mode, man. It's awesome. Okay, nice big plate of these things. And you're just going to store them up. We're going to put them right into a paper towel. Right into a plastic bag. And then stick a little paper towel in there to keep them nice and dry. They're a little bit actually better after they dry out in the fridge for a day. So that's another good thing. And those are good to go. And those are our lentils. That was day 3 or day 4. Awesome. And super easy to clean up, guys. You just rinse off, you just pull the seeds right out, rinse off the trays, wipe them down. They're good to go, ready to be used again. Okay. You can tell they're totally clean. Just clean the tops and the bottoms. No worries. And yeah, you're ready to go. That's day 3, maybe day 4, depending on your own particular setup. All right, let's go to the next one. Bam, here we go. All right, let's take a peek. And these are our mung beans at day 3. Okay, this is what they're looking at. And I can already tell that we kind of planted these too densely. They're already like really binding each other up. It's going to affect our harvest, but it's not a big deal. We'll still get a good harvest out of it. It's just going to be a little different. You can tell the roots are already going down, so we can bottom water these now. So we can put some water on the bottom, and we'll stick these right back on the rack. So those were the 2 things that were going to be completely in the dark, was our lentils and our mung beans here. Let's take a peek around to some of the others. So here we have, this is day 3, day 4, and this is our broccoli. And those are our green peas next to it. But the broccoli's up, it's good, it's doing really well. And the green peas are starting to sprout. And now it's time to put these in the light. So these are coming out right around day 3, day 4. And we can bottom water these now because the roots are starting to come down. All right, let's talk about day 5. This is day 5 with our mung beans, and it's going to be an okay harvest, but there's a couple problems. We planted it too densely, and we didn't weight it properly. It was a little uneven, so we got a couple little issues. Normally, they would be just straight up in the air, right? They're just beautiful sprouts. This will still give us a harvest, but this is what they would normally look like. You know, this is a little bit longer of a grow right here. I think this is day 6 or day 7 for mung beans. Those are just beautiful. That's my typical harvest, just like that. And I usually let them go like that. I like to get them nice and tall because I cut the white flowers off the top. That helps them last a lot longer. This is like day 6 or day 7. You can harvest them at like day 4 or day 5. But I like to get them real tall and then just snip off the flowers and snip off the roots and have that nice big stem. But you can tell looking down in here, they're overplanted just too much. I'm going to pull these early, right around day 4, day 5. I think this is day 5 here, because I'm worried that these will get moldy because they're just too densely packed in there. So we're going to pull these. We'll still get a harvest, and you can tell. See, they're not standing up straight like the other ones. They're just all falling over. That's because they're too densely packed, and we improperly weighted them. So I got a little lazy there. But no worries, we're still going to get some mung beans. We'll just we'll take them today. And you'll see here, we're going to have a decent harvest. Normally we would probably get about twice as much. And normally we'd be able to clean it up a little better by actually snipping off all the yellow leaves. It's kind of hard to snip off the leaves because they weren't standing up straight the way they normally do. So no worries, just a little out of practice. It's been a little while since I've been running some mung beans. So glad to be back having these part of my daily routine. Yeah, and then here's the plates. They clean up super easy as well. Just cut the roots off the bottom, scrape everything off, and just rinse them. Just rinse them with water, really. And they're ready for reusing. So let's take a look at this harvest. Even though a couple things didn't go our way perfectly, but look, I mean, this is beautiful, man. We still got a nice big bowl of sprouts, and those are wonderful. We're making some salads tonight for people that are just starting microgreen growing, so they can taste what they're like. And yeah, and these are going to be awesome. So these are going to be really, really well. Nice big bowl of sprouts. Again, I like to cut off the yellow flowers. The reason I do that is because if they turn green, they will taste a little bitter. And then it'll extend the life of the sprout if you cut those leaves off. I've been asked about that quite a bit. But these tend to go bad pretty quickly if you don't do that. The leaves will turn brown after about maybe 4 days. And then they won't be worth eating. But if you clip the leaves off of them, the sprouts will last for about 10 days or so. So the real trick is cutting those yellow leaves off of them. You can leave a few here and there, but I like to take them off when I can. This batch is going to get eaten up pretty quick, so we'll be fine. But not a bad harvest, considering that we had a couple missteps in the planting. But it's good. I'm glad that happened, because now you can see that does happen and how to troubleshoot it. Let's look around here now. So these are our radishes at day 5, and they're doing great. You can tell I've already sampled. I took a bite of some already there in the corner because I love the radishes, and they're actually edible, throughout their whole growing season, or their whole grow length. But yeah, this is day 5 on these, and they're looking great. So they're next up to be harvested, and here we are doing that right here. Bam. It's day 7, okay? Day 7, look at these beautiful radishes. Those things are awesome. Radishes are my favorite. You guys know that if you've been following my channel. But yeah, so here's day 7, and those are our radishes. And we're going to be harvesting those today. And we're going to get just an awesome harvest. There's a ton of radishes there. So much food on these things, guys, in such a little space. And notice how we're only really using 2 racks. We're growing all these vegetables on just 2 racks. So we're going to take these radishes down. We're going to just basically pull them out of the tray and cut off the root. If you're wondering how we're doing our harvest and everything, just check my other videos. I've got a full video for radishes, full video for mung beans. Check some of the very first videos I made, and we go into all the details. I'm just showing you this sort of chronologically so that you can see how to do the mung beans, how they work together with the 10-day system. Okay, so here they are. We're taking them down. We're going to pull these up, and we're going to just get some scissors and cut off the root, and all the rest of it's edible. It's good, good, good stuff. And we're going to have an awesomely large harvest on these. I love the volume on these radishes, man. Look at this bowl here. It's completely full. We just fill this bowl up. I mean, that's a lot of food, guys. Really good. And I love radishes. They taste so good. And radishes are #1 key. If you had to grow one thing, man, as far as sulforaphane, these have sulforaphane. It helps cure cancer. It's amazing, the nutrition. It's really, really good. Radishes and mung beans are my 2 favorite by far. Oh, look at how beautiful those look. Those are perfect, baby. Yeah, good stuff. There you go. A full gallon bag. That thing is full. Gallon bag, Ziploc bag. And these are going right in the fridge. So that's perfect, man. There's our mung beans. Normally our mung beans would fill this whole bag up as well. But we already talked about that. And but they're still good. We're eating those too. Good stuff, baby. Look at all that food. So there's our lentil sprouts and our microgreen radishes and our microgreen mung beans. A lot of food, man. We still got other things on the rack. All right, guys, let's jump to day 9, okay? Here's our pea shoots, and they're doing great. You can harvest these anywhere from, say, day 9 to day 12. And these just look beautiful. They're nice and tall. Broccoli's coming along. Normally broccoli, you can go, 10 days, something like that. We're going to pull this all together because we're going to be putting it in some salad. So we're just going to pull that maybe a little early for the broccoli, but that's okay. So there's our peas and our broccoli. And yeah, these that both have a green taste. They're really good, and lots of nutrition on these things. So we got them pulled there. We just got a little smaller harvest on these, but that's okay. So this is good stuff. All these microgreens are coming out, really, really well. So that's our peas and our broccoli. And look at how nice that looks. Fresh microgreens. Oh, so good. I love this stuff, guys. I really do. Everyone needs to be doing this, right? So that's going to complete the cycle. We're actually completing it on day 9. So day 9, so 10 tomorrow is when we would restart all over. So we would put everything today or tonight. We would soak our seeds. And oh, just look at that. Such a good harvest. We don't have the peas and the broccoli in this shot, but that's a lot of food. And that's every 10 days. You're going to be getting that much food. We've actually got some of it harvested out of some of these bags as well. But every 10 days, you're getting that much food with the broccoli and the peas. And it's just a ton of food. It's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video here. Yeah, so everything's harvested, and then you would just repeat that 10-day cycle. And it just makes so much sense to do it that way. And it only uses like two bays of the rack. And that rack's awesome. So, and it's going to work in conjunction with the rest of the rack growing lettuces. So every 10 days, you're going to be harvesting plates and plates of lettuce. And then you're also going to be harvesting all these microgreens for some amazing salads. So yeah, I just wanted to document sort of the overview of how you do the microgreens. And, if you wanted more microgreens, then you could just, instead of using 2 racks, you could just, the scales. So you could use 4 bays of the rack system and double everything, right? So that's an easy way to go if you wanted more. But for most households, I think you're going to find if you've got a family of maybe 3, maybe 4, this is going to get you through 10 days and really get you just a lot of salads, okay? And we'll talk about the lettuces here coming up down the road and have some other videos. But yeah, so hopefully you guys are digging this. These are my favorite microgreens. These are my favorite 5, and we've talked about that in other videos. If you want more details, check out, I've got details, just very precise, detailed videos on how to grow all of these, and back in my video on YouTube here. So check them out, guys. Honestly, this is so much fun. It's so easy. Everyone can do it. Hopefully it looks easy and you can tell that this is just a blast to do. So everyone should be doing it. It's great for your health. I already tell you, when I started doing this, all my numbers came in perfect. My cholesterol came down 100 points. It's amazing, guys. It's just great stuff to do. And I love the salads. The salads are amazing. It's not like you're trying to choke down some sort of supplement shake or something. These are things that I love to eat. They taste good. You don't have to plug your nose and try and eat them or anything like that. So, yeah, but that's microgreens, guys. You got any questions, I'll try and answer them as well. Leave me a comment. Say hello. Say hi. We're glad you're here. Let's get busy, man. Let's grow some food. Honestly, this is a great thing to do. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for following along. This is Troy Time. Take care, guys. I'm out.